Coding is hard, but I've learned so many things along the way that I wish I knew before I got started. So I'm gonna share you 3 things that I wish I knew, and let's jump straight into the first one, which is it's okay to consume things, but don't only rely on consuming things. So you're probably gonna start out coding in one of 3 ways. Either you're gonna be reading a book, or taking a class at school, or watching an online video or course, or you could be doing all those things at once. The point is that when you do one of those 3 things, you're consuming the material. You're not producing, you're not actually applying yourself. And that's perfectly fine, but the problem is that if you only consume, then you're not gonna improve your skills because you're just taking in the materials, but nothing's coming out of what you're learning. You shouldn't constantly watch YouTube tutorials or whatever if you're somewhat comfortable in writing some lines of code, because you could actually do a lot more than you think you can, even if you only know the basics. And this is gonna lead me into my second point, which is to learn through projects and try to apply yourself as much as possible. And so to do projects, you have to first come up with an idea of your project. And so what I recommend is you follow your own interests. So if there's some specific kind of niche or whatever that you like to do, then try to figure out a way of how to implement that into a project. So in my case, for example, I like to go to the gym a lot. So I basically made a fitness app tracker on a website that basically you can log your exercises and how many reps and how much weight you lifted, stuff like that. And so basically, I know it sounds like a pretty cliche topic idea, but I feel like a lot of people, they think that if it's a pretty common project idea, they try to like avoid it. But in my opinion, I think that if you're genuinely interested in that cliche topic, then I think that you should just go with the project, because if you go with something that you genuinely like rather than trying to find something that's unique, then you're gonna be able to explain your own project better when it comes to an interview and they're asking you a question on what project you did and why you did it. So basically, instead of worrying about what topic or what your project idea should be, you should try to think about what genuine interests you have that you could turn into some sort of coding project. And you don't have to think of the project as some sort of test where you have to memorize all the material and put it all into code. I feel like the best way to learn coding is to do some Googling and researching online as you work on a project. And I know in the previous point I said that watching YouTube tutorials wasn't that beneficial if you're solely relying on that. But I feel like if you're working on a project, but you're watching tutorials that are gonna teach you topics that are gonna help you with your project on the side, then that's much better way to learn, because you're consuming the material with a purpose. So it's completely okay if you're consuming material online and watching tutorials for small tasks that are gonna eventually lead up to finishing your project in the end. And if you're still watching this part of the video, then I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, because 1, I know that you're genuinely interested in learning data science skills because you made it all the way here in this video, and 2, because I make Excel and Python videos that teach you the basic skills that could help you with the project that you're working on the side. Anyways, with that being said, I'm gonna move on to my third and final point. I realized that you can never really be a master in something, and I know that there's a bunch of tutorials out there that are like how to master coding in 10 minutes, or there's like a bunch of clickbait tutorials out there. But in my opinion, you can never be completely good at something because there's so many things to learn. And so don't get discouraged if there's something that you're stuck on, because even the best coder out there, they're probably searching things up on Google and looking things up on Stack Overflow. So you're not alone if you're stuck on something. And if you are a beginner, then think of that as a good sign, because you have so many things to learn, and you have so much room for growth. And I guess this doesn't really apply to only coding. This could apply to any other part of life. Like you could always be better than you were yesterday, as long as you keep improving your skills, and don't just compare yourself to other people. Focus on yourself and focus on building up your own skills, because it's about the growth that matters, not about the results. If you focus on the progress that you're making, then results are gonna come as a result of the progress. All right, that's all I got for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. I know it was a different kind of video, But if you want to see other of my standard tutorials, then you could look at these videos that are gonna appear somewhere on the screen. Hopefully I see you over there, and thank you guys so much for watching.